Hi there, Janet Fritz here for Galaxy Girl Creations. Welcome to my channel and welcome to Kit Conspiracy. This is also a Stitches and Stencils layout, as well as I am using some product from the Some Assemblage Required shop, and those are going to be all related to stitching and then a tearing guide that I'm going to use later in the video. So this little stitching template is, I believe, from February. So MK has a stitching subscription kit that she does, and it is not currently open for new subscribers, but it will be open in, I want to say, October or November. Believe this was February's, one of February's. There's usually a couple of them in there, and so I'm going to use that. And then this frosted one that I have in, that I'm using is from the Stitching Starter Set, although if you order it, it probably will not be frosted. Mine was done, one of the first ones that was done, and so she tried it on the frosted first, and I believe they're mostly clear at this point. Anyway, I'm using the hearts from that, and then I'm also going to do the Lazy Daisies, although I'm going to pick up a different stitching template that is clear that also has the Lazy Daisies on it, but it is from a retreat that we did, and it has a few other icons on it that were not on the original one from the starter guide. The starter guide has a fish bone on it, the Lazy Daisy, a woven rose, a spider's web, and 3 different hearts. And then there's a second piece that is has a lot of the long stitches on it that go like the length of the ruler. So some of them are crisscross or zigzag or whatever. But the piercing pad is also from the stitching guide, and then there is also a needle minder, which I don't know why I didn't show that on screen, but it's a little wooden box that is has magnets inside, a magnet inside that holds your needles in place, and the box itself has a magnetic closure, so it's really cool. But those are over on her site. And then the stencil that I just used is from a company called CC Designs. I don't know anything about them. I actually got it from a friend, so I don't have any more information for you on that. And the tearing guide that I just used is also from MK's site. I will put links down below for the items that I'm using, and in case you're interested in those. I don't know 100% what is available at the time that this video releases, but I will go ahead and put those links down below. I did use some paper glaze from Picket Fence Studio, which I don't believe they make paper glaze anymore, at least not that I've seen. But the color that I was using is Mint Hydrangea. You might still be able to find it here and there at different shops online. And then I'm going to go ahead and take some time and do some stitching. You can see I've got a container full of different kinds of thread. These are all DMC, or I think these actually are the DMC ones. I might have a couple mixed in there that are not, but I am using the full 6 strands to create these Lazy Daisies, and I think they come out really, really cool. I really like them. My idea here is to use the chipboard frames that I had from my kit for Kit Conspiracy, and if you're not familiar with that, it's a series that MK and I do in April and November where we use the same kit and for 1 week, and then the next week we switch to a different kit, which are both the same. So you can see how we each use the kits differently. So this week we happen to be using the Farmhouse Summer Kit from Cartabella. And I am documenting a scrapbooking retreat again. So I basically am going to be documenting this scrapbooking retreat for the entirety of this week, because I have quite a few photos on it or from it, and I don't normally document this retreat. It's an annual retreat. I don't normally document it to this extent, but I thought, it's about time that I did. So here I am. It also takes place in a farmhouse, so I thought, this is actually really a great way to use this kit, because it is a farmhouse. And there was the needle minder, in case you just happen to see that. It comes in several different floral patterns. The one with the tree on it is an exclusive from the Wyoming retreat that she hosted in November. But you can get it in other motifs like a sunflower, which is my favorite one. Anyway, so here is a green piece of paper. If you watched yesterday's layout, it is where I picked up all of the green ink from that I used on yesterday's layout. And so here I am using it to back these two photos. And at this retreat, I did teach a mixed media course or project. Yeah, a mixed media project for my group of gal pals. One of them requested that I would teach it, or teach a class, and so I know she's really loves the mixed media stuff, so that's what I taught. And so that is them around the desk there, or around the tables in the kitchen, which is not necessarily our work area. It's where we normally eat, but it's great for the teaching part because it's a little bit separate from the area where people who are not interested in doing the class can visit and stuff, and it's not distracting or anything like that. So, and I try to only make it, like maybe an hour and a half each day to do a little portion of it, which sounds like a lot, but when there's like 10 people and they don't normally do mixed media, it does take a little bit of time. So anyway, I have spruce and amber ink pads from Catherine Pooler. I am doing a little bit of splatter on my stitching pieces because I felt like they were just too plain white, and those are the colors that matched the thread the best that I'm using. And then the one thing that I did a little different on the Lazy Daisy is I added a French knot down the middle. It's not something that is on the stitching guide, but there is a little center piece that you can poke your own hole in, basically. And then if you want to do a French knot, you can do that. You just have to be careful that you're not too close to the other holes and you don't pull too hard and rip one of those holes, basically. So I really like the way that it looks. It's the first time that I've actually done the heart. Well, it's the first time I've done the cup and the heart, but I think they're really cool looking, and I really enjoyed it. MK does have a stitching video on how to do the stitches that come on the stitching guide rulers or templates up on her website or on her YouTube, and I will link that down below for you, so in case you're interested in checking out how to use the stitching guides, either before or after you purchase them, you can go and check that out, basically. I did go find a metallic jelly roll pen in a dark green from my stash. I don't use these pens very often. I was actually, frankly, very surprised that it still works. And it worked great. So I went ahead and just did a double sketchy line all the way around the outside because I felt like that was going to hold everything in place where I wanted it. And then I am going to just do a framework as if this was a collage on a wall, like a collage of photographs, not a collage of paper, basically. It's a full collage of photographs. And I really like the way that it ends up looking. I think it's super cute. I think I'm just going back in here and darkening up one of the lines or adding a second line. I'm not sure what I was doing there. But I like the way that it looks, and I think it came out really cute. So that's what I'm going for. I did want to make sure that I start off with my photos straight because nothing worse than, the first thing that you put down being crooked and then everything's crooked. So I usually start with something nice and straight when I'm doing I'm going to call this a grid style layout because basically, it's an off-centered grid. But, grids are one of those things. You either have to make them really perfectly straight or you have to be intentionally not straight. And so, I felt like if I get started with a couple of pieces straight, then everything else can just build off of that. And then it works. I don't have to measure everything else. But yeah, it's awful when you start with something crooked because then the whole thing looks funny. Anyway, I'm liking how it's coming together. I do know that I want to put something in that space between the heart frame and the photo. I haven't figured out quite what that is, but I am auditioning a couple of pieces here. And I am going to kind of figure that out as I go. I'm just looking at all the stickers while I'm waiting for my glue to set up. While I do that, I want to remind you there are a bunch of people also playing along with Stitches and Stencils. We did open this series up to other people playing along with us. So there is a link down below for this series, and you can go and check out what everyone else is doing for Stitches and Stencils. And they should be doing both on their layouts. Now, the stitching and the stenciling does not necessarily have to be actual stitching, like hand stitching. It could be machine stitching. It could be faux stitching. We do try to keep it to actual using thread of some sort most of the time, but you know, sometimes people don't have the capability to do that, or they maybe have a stamp that looks like a stitch, so sometimes they can substitute that in as well. And then there definitely needs to be some kind of stenciling. It does not necessarily have to be with a texture paste. Could just be with ink, could be with spray or something like that. But yeah, everything should have some kind of stitching and stenciling on it. So go and check that out for more inspiration. And then this is a series that was started actually at this same farmhouse on a different retreat with me, MK, and Sandy over at State Goddess. And Sandy had brought her stencils, and MK had brought her sewing machine, and I found myself stitching and stenciling on everything that weekend. And so, you know, that's how it came about. But yeah, we opened it up so you can get lots more inspiration. And then you wanted to go and check out what MK is doing over on her layout for Kit Conspiracy to see how she is using this kit differently. So there, again, a link down below for you for her channel as well. I am popping these pieces up onto some foam because these are all ephemera or sticker pieces, or pieces that I cut out of a cut apart sheet. And I wanted them to be the same height as my frames, which are made of chipboard. So all of those things got lifted up onto some foam tape just to give a little bit of added dimension. I added a few squiggles onto my sketchy lines just to make it look like there was more stitching. And then I was trying to figure out where to do my journaling, and I thought I'll just write it along the edge of these two frames because I really didn't have a ton more to say, just basically that we're doing a class. That is it, you guys. Thank you so much for watching. If you have questions or comments, as always, leave them down below. I'll get back to you as quickly as I can. I hope that you enjoyed this one, and if you did, I hope that you would consider giving it a thumbs up. And if you're not subscribed to my channel, I would love for you to subscribe to my channel and hit the bell for notifications each time I release a new video. Thank you again for watching, and don't forget to go and give everyone else a little bit of love. And I will be back again with another video probably tomorrow. So I'll see you then. Bye-bye.